It's Kiara, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of For Realness Sake. I am so excited today to have Miss Toni Jones here, the Affirmation Queen. Hi, Miss Toni Jones.
Hi. Hi, Kiara. How are you?
I'm doing well. Today's a good day. Okay?
Today is a good day. Yes.
Miss Toni, I found you randomly. I actually had a friend who was listening to you, and she just sent me your album, but it was like a couple days before your whole album came out. So I was listening to two songs. I was listening to Inner Breakfast, and I think it was Free Me or Talk to Me Nice. And I was like, okay, this is everything. And so I was concerned because I'm like, wait, how come I can only hear two songs? How come I can't hear like the whole album? And then I realized that it hadn't even dropped. So first things first, the Me versus Every Me album is amazing. Thank you. Amazing. And it speaks so well to like affirmation. I'm a therapist in the daytime, so I've shared it with like all of my clients and they love it. So,
that's amazing. I love that.
Yes. So if you've been getting a lot of streams from Florida, it's me, sis. It was me.
Well, I appreciate it. Y'all help me pay my bills.
Yes. So,
keep this going. Keep this going.
And we will, because I listen to it every morning. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself here. Tell us who you are, what you do. Just tell us everything.
Yeah. So a little bit about me is for 6-7 years, I've been a life coach for women and youth, and primarily with the focus of well-being, conscious well-being, and project leadership. And so fast forward to 2018, you know, I was working really hard on building my wellness business because I was trying to help women heal from workaholism and understand their psychology and how that influences their behavior in their life experience. And I got my academic background in psychology, and I love all things human behavior and neuroscience. So in 2018, it just took a toll on me with trying to spearhead these countercultural messages that wasn't in our timeline, back then. It wasn't about self-care, mental health. It was all about being a bad bitch, getting a bag, having a brand, having the perfect pictures. Like, it was all about that grind, And so I was like, how am I going to pierce this monster that's going to take a toll on women and, leave us empty ultimately, specifically African American women. And so I went into my meditation prayer zone and God gave me affirmation music. And so that was in the summer of 2018, and I ended up going to California for a month, wrote the whole album, Affirmations for the Grown Ass Woman.
Yes.
And 9 tracks to represent the 9 months it takes for a woman to create a human being. So I wanted women to be able to push play on this album and create the woman of their dreams and birth her. Not just clean up in life, but grow up. That's why I titled it Affirmations for the Grown Ass Woman. Women who are tired of being girls and want to be like grown women, internally. And so really the rest is history. I spent, after I released that album, girl, all hell broke loose in 2019. And so I went through a whole internal crisis of just like falling more in love with existing, being in my body, being in this world that I was very disenchanted with, the social structures in life. And so December 31st of 2019, I said, you know what? No matter what happens in 2020, I am going to figure out like what it looks like for Toni Jones to be happy. And to be honest with you, 2020 was one of the best years in my adult life. And so it was almost like 2019 was a prequel to what the world was going to be experiencing in 2020, because I was at home every day, like I lost my dream job. At the time, I thought it was a loss, but it was really a setup, so that's how I got into affirmation music. So, 2021, 2020, October 2020, when I made a decision that I was going to, leave my coaching business and go into full-time music as an affirmation musician, and the rest is history. And so I've been just navigating life as an artist, as a musician. This is new for me.
Yeah.
I'm 39,
What?
So
Get out of here.
Like
You look great, okay?
Yes, and thank you. And so, it's been very much an adventure. I am astonished and in awe at how much life can surprise you in ways that you didn't plan for or vision board about.
Yeah.
It's just like it made me realize that you can leave a whole lot of part of your life, or a part of your life, uncertain and unplanned. Just leave space for a surprise. Because it may align in a way like that your plans could never do.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a little bit about me. Some corny stuff. I love Trader Joe's. I love pineapple juice.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an everyday woman. I'm a woman's woman.
Yes.
I love studying space and neuroscience, and I love going down rabbit holes and learning new hobbies and things like that. So
yes, very relatable. I can say that for sure. I love that. I always like to say, leave room for grace, right? And for God to show out. And so I love that you just kind of trusted yourself in that moment and just did, whatever you felt was necessary. And it's clearly working for you.
It's working out, man.
I think there is like this weird space, because I'm about to be 30 this month on the 29th. And I think I think there's like this weird space and time between like your 20s and entering into your 30s where it's almost like you want to have it figured out. Like, I feel like, I should be here and I'm here or whatever, but leaving that space to just be, and allowing God and and the universe to just work it out for you. You touched me right here with that one. That is, that's a word in itself.
Yes. Yeah. Receive, honey.
Yes, beautiful. Now, I am also a huge advocate for women. I call myself a girl's girl, Black women, period. Right? And so, so I want to know, what was that thing for you to get started with empowering women, specifically, even as a Black woman? What was that thing for you that was like, I got to get with my girls, I got to empower them, I got to affirm them, I got to let them know we are everything. What was that starting point for you?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Going around women who normalize suffering, church, community, family, it was just so many Black women in my life that were suffering. And I saw that pattern being perpetuated in my life. And I said, no. I said, not me.
Yes.
This is not happening.
Yeah.
My heart is I love my heart. I love my energy. I just was just like, I care about what's possible for me, and emotionally, internally. And I didn't want to be another woman that tolerated her suffering and then projected it on a relationship or a man or her children. I didn't, and put all the responsibility on Jesus, on God to fix, when we have the power to, practice the type of love and care God does with us. We have that power to do. So for me, it was saying, I may not know everything of what I want to be and what I want to do and who I am, but I know I don't want to be like that.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
And so for me, it was seeing that and empowering myself step by step, figuring it out, not knowing the path, but just saying, I don't want to do that, you know, so I have to go out into the world and figure out what else is here for me besides that pattern. Because if I continue to do everything they're doing, I can continue that emotional legacy of normalizing suffering as a part of my life and depending on religion to be my sanctuary. And I didn't want that for me. Like I wanted, like I am in a continuous journey with, you know, romancing life and seeing how good it can be and respond to me when I am when I'm taking my responsibility to work on myself and embody what I know and learn. So I would definitely say my inspiration for empowering women was empowering myself because of what I saw from women who, it's not that they just didn't empower themselves. I don't think a lot of them knew how to. You know, I don't think they knew how to. I feel like they knew the choice was there, but they didn't know where to start. So they did what they only could do, you know, knew to do. And so for me, it was just like, I don't care if I don't know. I'm going to figure this out.
Absolutely.
You know? So yeah.
I love that. I think that people confuse like self-love with just like crab legs and margaritas and having a good time and just like living life. But it's like, no, self-love is really getting to the bottom of who am I in this world? How am I treating myself? How am I allowing other people to treat me? What is this thing that I recognize as a pattern, you know, in my bloodline? What am I trying to do differently? That's all a part of self-love too. Because
that's a part of self-love too.
Yeah, you're actively choosing to be different than everything that you've witnessed, everything that you know to be true.
Yeah, and it's not a game. It is not a game.
No, it's not. I think self-love, like when I first started on my self-love journey, I think that it hurt more than it felt good, because it was me like denying everything that I knew in life to be like the standard or the norm for me, and saying, I don't like none of this. Immediately, this is done. I don't want to do anything like this anymore. And so what do you think? Do you think that it was a little bit more like the healing hurt in the beginning as you started to transition into who you're supposed to be?
I mean, it hurt tremendously, because when you have a program of this is what the standard is, this is what it looks like for you, and you see majority of the women in your life, not all of them, but majority in your life, and they are following a certain pattern, and then somehow, some way, you get some type of pop-up inside you that says, there's another way. And you're like, what? So you end up like denying or dying to the version of you that your whole life cultivated.
Yeah.
You know, from family to friends to society to church. And you don't understand why you are choosing differently. And so for me, it was very painful. It was very painful, especially when like what I loved was no longer like, how can you say, like I loved church. I loved everything about it, but I felt called to go away from it. That was very painful for me, because I didn't know what else was there. I didn't know how my family was going to perceive me. I didn't know how, what else is there? Like, because the world is messed up. They not happy. Like, so for me, it was very painful in my healing journey. And it still has its cycles of death and rebirth. Because, you know, I don't always believe in when you know better, you do better. You do better when you do better. That's it. Like, because I know plenty of times when I've known better and I didn't do better.
Right. We repeat the cycles. Yeah. Yeah.
I've watched it my whole life of people knowing better but wouldn't do better, you know, because better didn't feel good at first, you know, and so that it's part of the blueprint of life is that pain is in service to, rebirth and greatness. Everything grows from dark places.
Yeah.
Trees, fruit, vegetables, babies. It is what it is. It's a part of life. So when you go up against that law, if you're not growing, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're dying very slow, and you decline little by little, because all that work that you don't do within yourself, that trauma, all of those memories, all of those self-sabotage, that don't just go nowhere.
No, you don't.
It festers. If you don't give it the attention that it needs in the way that it is there to support you in purposeful ways for you to expand and grow, it will fester and it will find something to do, because it won't get bored and die. It'll eat up its host.
Yeah. Ooh.
Period. In every corner of your life. So for me, it's always painful. I won't say it's always, but it's always painful for it. A lot of times it's painful for the parts of me that don't want to grow and expand when I'm healing and expanding.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. You got to go to grow, right? So if you plan to be in the same space, I don't know how much growth you're going to get.
No.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's good. I like that. I want to get into your album, Me versus Every Me. Like I was saying, I stumbled across the album, and immediately, I think the first two songs I listened to were Inner Breakfast and Free Me. I believe so. And I listened to both of those songs on repeat for like an hour because it was just too good. I was writing down affirmations for me to use in like bite-sized pieces. I was sharing them with my clients at that time when I first learned about it, and it just really touched me. I love affirmation. I love everything about it. So what was the motivation behind this album, Me versus Every Me?
Motivation. It's so many different things.
Yeah.
So many different things. I would say number one will be just the internal battle that the human family experiences mentally, especially the part of the human family that lives in the Western world, Western society that has been oppressed and suppressed by the patriarchy, right? And that battle of I'm not good enough.
Girl.
I need to be realistic. Like, I need to be more practical.
Yeah.
Like, shrinking yourself.
Yes.
It's time to heal. It's time to journal. You got to eat right. You got to do this. You got to do motherhood. You got to do this. You got to go back and get your degree. Just all of these things. You can't be like your mom. You can't be like your family. Got to do things differently. There ain't no good men in the world. Just this constant inner noise going on to be better, to not be worse. Don't repeat the past. Do better in the future. And it just robs us from the present moment so much. He robs us from feeling alive and being in love with what is, and trusting that everything as is perfect for where you're at right now.
Yeah.
And so that internal dialogue of where it just feels like all of these voices are in your mind telling you like who you need to be and who you're not. And you can give it labels. I mean, people have studied giving them labels like ADHD, mental health issues, depression, anxiety. You can give them labels. That's a very valid thing to do, because if you're not aware of what it is, you can't deal with it. But ultimately, it boils down to us not knowing who we are, what we are, and how we are designed. And the way you awaken to that is realizing that you are a spiritual being going through a human experience. And the point of entry to that is self-love.
Yes.
Loving yourself. Because when you spend time with yourself, quiet, I'm talking about all the things you do with Bae, all the things that you do in the relationship, all the things you do with the, like, how are you doing that with yourself?
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, when that self-love starts to get more genuine, more authentic, more real, more unconditional,
Yeah.
oh, you're going to expand in your consciousness and ways and realize things you just not gonna get from books. You're not gonna get from, just any, just Instagram wisdom. It's realized in a deep place, So for me versus every me was to give people a language of self-love that they can just push play, and it goes right into the psyche of all of those conversations, and have a new voice, a new language that is happening in here, because it all starts right here.
Yeah.
This is the truest heaven that we know. It's the highest place. So we have to go into the heavens of our mind and swap those conversations, heal those conversations. When did you first learn that you weren't worthy? What was the first experience that told you that you're not enough and that you're a limited being and you have to depend on the world to give you the plug, or depend on a relationship for you to feel whole and complete? So that was definitely a motivation and inspiration behind the album. There was personal things I was going through, like just unlearning the fairy tale of being chosen. It's been a very painful lesson, and not a lesson to learn, but a lesson to unlearn, to just, it almost feels like you're performing surgery on yourself and you have no anesthesia. It's like, I've been learning that program all my life. Who's going to choose me? And then it's like every decade, it's still here.
Yeah.
So for me, I had to, me versus every me, in the process of creating that I was learning, and I was a student of the me versus every me language, because it was all about loving every version of me, whether I changed or healed in a way or not. Like, it was like fully accepting myself. And I always say this in interviews, that album, for me personally, creating it, felt like I was bringing all the versions of me into the living room. And I say, okay, here, y'all, here's the blueprint. I tried to heal you away. I don't know when you're going to leave. I tried to grow out of you, but you keep showing up. So we're going to try something different. I'm going to love you as is. I'm going to accept all these versions of me, the versions of me that I love, that I enjoy, the versions of me that I felt shame about, that I want to hide from everybody. And I'm going to love you equally, because you all have made me who I am. And it may sound crazy. It may sound a little schizo.
Not to me.
But the reality is we are multidimensional beings. We can explore our past, present, and future all in one moment, all in 1 hour. That's multi-dimensional existing, So you have to be present enough. You have to be grounded in your divinity to be able to collect all of those dimensions of selves and integrate them into one and say, I love you as is. And this is how we're going to move forward, because I got bags to get. I got a lifestyle to live. I got nails.
Yes, right.
Listen,
got stuff to do.
I have to enjoy my life, and I can't have any self-sabotaging going on.
Yes.
So I must love all of myself for that to happen, for me to really enjoy it and not just use life as a way to cover up the stuff that's going on in the inside. So I said a lot, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of inspiration and motivation that went into that album. I couldn't just create it. I had to embody that in real time while I was creating it. And it was, so when you push play, you feel the vibration of authentic experience that is poured all through and out that album.
Listen, it was felt, it was heard, okay? I appreciated everything that you just said. I think that is self-love. I think we have this Instagram kind of version of what people perceive self-love to be, which is oh, I love myself. Look at me, eating a salad and, writing in my journal. But self-love is really like, even if I don't change another thing about myself, I am okay right here, right in this moment. This is enough. And that is something that I've had to learn, I think, repeatedly forever. It's something that I'm still learning. I think now I'm perfecting it. But always a student to myself, always willing to sort of learn who I am. And when it's so funny because when I was like, I think I was like 22, I got this tattooed on me. It says enough as a reminder, as a constant reminder of who I am. You're good right here, sis. If you see it right now, you're good. This is enough. So I appreciate you saying that for the people like me and, maybe some others who need that reminder to talk to themselves in a nice way.
In a nice way, period.
By the way, that was my favorite song on the album, Talk to Me Nice. I think that's the one between that one and
everybody loves that song. You know that song almost didn't get on the album?
What?
My manager was the one, my manager producer, he was the one that said, we got to put this on the album.
I mean, if there was any staple
and it's
song.
The top favorite.
Yeah, I could see why. I mean, you have an album called Me Versus Me. I mean, that should have been the one, sis. That was no question. No question.
Yeah.
I love that song. That is on repeat daily. And I love how in the beginning where, you're like, hey, you got so much stuff to do today. You got to do this, you got to do this. And then it flipped and was like, well, you got so much to do. Just stay in bed, girl. Don't even worry about it. And I'm like, that's me every day. Like, that was so my thought process. And so what was the motivation behind that specifically? Because that's the one where when I speak to my clients, I'm like, hey, listen to this one. This the one you need to hear right now.
The Talk to Me Nice song, what was the inspiration for that song or that part in the beginning?
All of it.
What? Oh, okay. Well, it was my producer's idea to do that little skit in the beginning.
Beautiful.
So that was really cool when he edited it. I was like, oh, this is fire.
Yes.
So it was so different because it's like, I don't know, it's so different to what you hear in music. It add a little theater to it, that wasn't corny, but, and so, the inspiration to that song was, again, just giving yourself a break, giving your own self a break, and setting the tone for the day. Because sometimes you don't know what version of you is going to show up in the morning when you wake up.
Yeah.
And it'll just start bullying you. Sometimes you wake up, you're like, oh, yes, I have all this fire energy. Let's go. And you're excited. And then some days it's like, look what you didn't do yesterday. Oh, my God. You got to do that today.
Yes.
And then the stuff that you didn't do last week, and then you check your emails, you're like, oh, my God. And then you get on Instagram and you get lost in the sauce. And it's just all of this busy noise. And it's just kind of like, no, I'm not, like I say in the song, I'm not bullying myself into productivity. Yeah. Time is on my side. You just talk to yourself in nice ways to set the tone for the day, because how you start your morning really it's the beginning of everything, because it's a brand new day that you've never seen, you'll never see again. So you might as well approach it like it's new. Give it new energy, give it new thoughts, give it new intentions for the day. It deserves that. Because it's going to come and go like that, and be at peace with whatever doesn't get done. We can only have faith that we have tomorrow to take care of it. That's it. So it's really the inspiration is just giving ourselves a break, man. We're navigating some very complex times. We are dealing with a lot of social unrest, but there is a lot of hope here. There's a lot of love here. There's a lot of possibility here. Dreams still matter. Your well-being still matters. You having fun and enjoying life still matters. It's not being in denial of, one part of reality, but it's about tapping into a true reality, which is your internal being. And nothing deserves you being distracted from that. So talking to yourself nice is a great way to set the tone for that type of intention, to say, listen, my inner being is going to GPS this whole day. I'm not fooling with the external world today.
Yes.
All these variants, all these gossip, all of my personal issues. I'm not,
Yes.
No. You know, I'm going to talk to myself nice.
Above all else. If I don't do nothing else today, I'm going to be kind to myself first.
Yeah. It's like, what will God do? How will God be about you on this day? You know, keep that same energy.
Yes. And you sound just like the album. What was your favorite thing, your favorite song to record on the album?
Oh man, I enjoyed all of them. I enjoyed so many of them. It was a challenge though, because my producer was always challenging me to do different things. I would have to say the one I really enjoyed was Inner Breakfast.
Oh, yes.
I love the song Inner Breakfast.
Yes, that's my second.
It's just so boppy.
It's fire.
It's so like, it's a vibe to it. You can twerk a little something to it. You can vibe. You know what I'm saying? And just saying something like that over a beat like that, it just gives this positive swag.
Yes, I love my good day.
I love my good day. Like, I signed up to talk like this daily. Like, I signed up for this, so this is what it is. So I enjoy doing that song. The other song is pleasure meditation. Meditation came from a personal experience of, you know, being intimate with someone I had no business being intimate with, and experiencing the consequences of that. You know, and meaning I didn't have no business dealing with that is, I didn't have no business being intimate with that person. Had more so to, it's crazy to say that, because it's like everything is lessons, right? So there are no mistakes, there are no regrets. Yeah. But when you look back at things, you like,
now why I did that? Yeah.
Like, you felt that way about yourself? That's how you really feel? And so, you know, dealing with that, of like that inner conversation, from going from shame to forgiveness, you know, and saying, hey, I deserve pleasure in ways that fulfill my spirit too. You know, that are comforting and reassuring to my heart and my sense of security as a feminine woman. You know, I deserve that type of sex, that type of affection, that type of intention, you know, and so that nourishes my mental health, not compromising. And so, you know, from that dynamic with him, I learned like there was more space for me to love myself, for me to grow, and to see where I'm a little loose with my boundaries and how I needed to firm up with my boundaries, you know, and be truthful and honest about what I want, not just what I think I need in the moment, because I'm lacking attention and affection.
That's good.
From masculine energy, you know? And so, yeah, girl, that song came from the gut. Okay.
Yes.
That came from the gut. It came from real time experience, not something I learned 5 years ago. That was a 2021 lesson. Okay.
Okay. Y'all better get this album immediately. Okay. Cause it's amazing. And if you hear Toni talking, I hear the passion, I hear the enthusiasm, I hear the realness in your voice, and it just like confirms everything. This is not a gimmick for you. This is you. No. This is you.
Me.
And I love that.
It's me.
I love that.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Tell me what we can expect from you in the future. Do you have any upcoming events, shows, anything like that?
Yes, I have some upcoming launches. I'm having a a surprise mood pack that goes with the Me Versus Every Me album. So look out for that.
Okay.
Details about that. I have a Facebook page. I am Toni Jones, where you can stay updated on everything on Facebook. On YouTube, I have an Affirm series. It's really an amazing series. Please check that out because literally you push play and all you have to do is receive.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. And what you get from pushing play, you won't be able to unfeel it. You won't be able to unsee it. I can guarantee you will feel that power within you expand when you push play. And that's all you got to do. I am going on tour this year. We're working on dates and cities now. There's been multiple cities that have been just skyrocketing with streams. So we're just like, okay, we got to figure out what cities. And I am open to, being hosted. Like if you want to do small group experiences, or intimate events.
Yeah.
I do something called affirmation meditation. So I provide meditation experiences. I just did one here in Detroit on Saturday at a yoga studio opening.
Ooh.
And so I did affirmation meditation for about 30, 40 women. And it was amazing. I do like a little affirmation meditation set where we do visualization. We do a movement meditation. We chat in between. We listen to a few of my songs. I perform some of my songs. So it varies. But, that's how I show up in the world. I'm planning the tour. We have some product launches that complement the affirmation conscious lifestyle to just continue the intention to affirm you in a healthy and positive way. So yeah, 2022 is a launching year of expansion and solidifying this movement, honestly, because it's a movement happening.
Yes,
like you're seeing affirmation consciousness everywhere. Everybody's talking about affirmations. Everybody's creating affirmation this, affirmation that,
Yeah.
It's like people have realized on a massive level that you have to talk to yourself nice, verbally, mentally, and emotionally.
Yes.
It's literally disciplining your vibration, disciplining your energy to bring it to a focus that's aligned with how God feels about you.
Yes.
With aligning it with your well-being. So, definitely more experiences, more events. I'm open to it. I travel, so
okay. Because I'm like, are you coming to Florida or? I would love to have you here. Let me know. You come to Tampa Bay, it's lit for me. Okay.
Yes. Perfect.
Thank you so much, Miss Toni Jones, for being here. I so excited. So thankful, grateful to you for sharing your space with me. Thank you so much for introducing yourself to my community, and I cannot wait to see what's next for you. I'm a fan forever. So
thank you, Kiera. I appreciate you.